All right, everyone. I hope you all had a great weekend. I certainly did on Sunday night. This is CDT Sports. I am Dan,
Hi, I'm Chris.
and we are C&DT Sports, or CDT Sports, and we're about to do the T and talk about sports. But first, here's a video. All right, so Chris, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was a pretty good weekend. Uh, Saw some pretty good football games. What about you?
So my birthday was last week, so we had a little birthday dinner on Saturday, so that was nice. And at the restaurant, they had the Kansas City and Jags game on, and then we went back to my mom's house afterwards, finished that up, started watching Philly and Giants, and then we kind of just went home and I stopped watching. But then on, yeah, I watched. What was the game? It was Bills Bengals and Cowboys 49ers on Sunday. I watched both of those games. And so, if you're okay with it, I would like to show a little video that I made regarding friends who are fans of the place in Texas that is not Houston, that has a football team. So, let me go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to show you this video as soon as I can. All right. I made this literally over the past hour. It was very hastily put together, so it's not perfect, but I think it expresses my sentiment pretty well. So, all right. And oh wait, I need to share the audio. Hold up.
I already love the first picture, guys. I haven't seen this either, so we're gonna
Oh
be
yeah, I
reacting to
wanted
this together.
I wanted to get his reaction. All right, share sound. Here we go. Ready?
F's in the chat. That's pretty great.
All right,
Oh,
yeah.
that's hilarious.
So that was just a little video I made. I wanted to see what you thought of that.
That was pretty great.
Glad you liked that. I made that pretty hastily, but man,
That was good.
I'm a part of the NFC East meme war on Reddit, so they posted some real bangers after that game. So yeah, let's go ahead and review the games, and let's go ahead and let me pull this back up and share my screen again, and we can go ahead and go on about this. All right, so yeah, okay, so let's go on just real quick on record.
Doing pretty good.
Did we do okay? Because I'm okay. So
Eight
we
and two.
okay, yeah. What was the two we
I'll
missed?
take it.
We missed.
We missed,
We
if you scroll up, one,
This
I
was
think.
last week.
Yep. Okay, so
Oh
that's the
no.
fake one. Go up one more. Boom.
Okay,
We
yeah, we
missed
missed two. That's right.
the
Okay.
Giants and
No,
the
we missed
Bills.
all of them.
Nope. Chiefs won.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, we missed the Giants and the Bills, which okay, so let's
Which one
talk
was an
about that.
upset, and the other one was an upset that we picked. We just picked the wrong upset. That's
Uh
all.
well, we picked the wrong upset with Philly and New York because that was a
Yep.
blowout in
Yeah, it
the
was.
purest definition of the word. So
I think speaking of Philly, I think that's their division next year.
we'll see. Here's hoping that
They're looking
Washington can
good.
get its stuff
Yeah.
together. But
Hey, maybe we'll
yeah,
have some Washington content coming here soon.
hopefully. But yeah, then I mean, again, I
Stay
watched like the
tuned.
first little bit and I watched the end, but yeah, New York just couldn't get. I mean, I feel bad for him because Brian Dable is a great coach and Daniel Jones has potential, but they just Philly was just smothering them.
Oh yeah.
And then yeah, so Bills Bengals. Did you watch that one?
I did. I watched that one while I was playing Elden Ring.
I think I was
I was actually
finishing.
streaming.
I was finishing Sonic Frontiers. So yeah, but yeah, the that was. Didn't I say last week I could see it going either way, but I gave the edge to the Bills. Thought I said that, but either way,
Yeah, I think you were saying how you thought Cincinnati could was gonna like. I think we both thought Cincinnati could win. We just weren't sure. We both kind of felt like it was a destiny thing for the Bills. I think is what it ended up being.
yeah, I thought if the Bills had the momentum early on, they could get it, but they didn't get the momentum. And Josh Allen just, again, I mean, they're as good as he is, and unfortunately, it I don't really know who was to blame for that. He kept throwing deep shots when it was like 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. I'm like, you need to run the ball, and obviously, I mean, I'm gonna have to Google who their running back is because obviously, if I don't know who it is off the top of my head, it's probably not.
Who?
How do I say this without being mean? It's like if I can't name the Bills running back off the top of my head, that's probably not a good thing.
No, it's Devin Singletary.
Thank you. Okay. So and the Bengals, I mean, good on them. I thought they played better football. So, but any thoughts on that one?
No, the better team won. 100%. The better team won. The Bengals came out and just put it on them. They really did a great job. That was a great game
Kitty went
for the
meow.
Bengals. Kitty did go meow. They showed the fangs and the claws.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. And then so Kansas City and the Jags, we should probably talk about that one next. I want to save the best for last, but yeah,
That was a close game. Score
so
looked a little bit closer than it was, but
towards the end, Jacksonville had a few chances to really put the game away, but I think Trevor Lawrence intercepted like what twice or something, and or they had to punt. I believe there was a couple interceptions right at the end.
I think so. That sounds about right.
Yeah, he tried. He gave it his all. They put their heart into it. Unfortunately, they just came up short. How do you feel
Yeah.
this is going to affect? So I know they put in. I forget what his name is. The backup quarterback. Once you say his name, I'm going to get it. Chad Henne.
Yep.
Yeah, they put him in because Patrick Mahomes had a high ankle sprain. So how do you feel that's going to
Yeah.
affect them next week?
So I saw that random tidbit when I was watching a YouTuber today. They were talking about how apparently he does a great job. Like he's thrown last time he had a high ankle sprain, he threw for 9 touchdowns between both games or 7 touchdowns
You talking
and
about
like
Perna?
900 yards. Yeah.
Yep,
And
I saw that too.
I was like, oh, he's gonna make a believer out of me.
We shall see. I think Patrick Mahomes is great. It's just the only thing that makes me dislike that team is the fans. Like I said,
That's fair.
once yeah, they've gotten a taste of
Hootie.
success, and now it's all like they expect it. What?
No, I'll save that. I'm gonna save that for later.
Okay, cool. Anything else you want to say about that game?
No, not much I can really think of. The Jags just weren't there yet. They're gonna be back, I think.
I
I
mean,
think they're
you,
going to be a really good team, the AFC South. We'll have our predictions later of who we think divisional, like who we think next year's Super Bowl. We'll have hot takes, all the fun stuff.
oh
You know
yeah,
how it
oh
is.
yeah. But yeah, I thought that Jacksonville. I mean, they went from having the worst record in the league and having the number one pick last year. And now they made it the divisional championship. That's pretty good. So I mean,
And they still have really good picks.
yeah. So we'll see what happens. But okay, so before I get into it, how did you feel about the Dallas and San Francisco game?
Dallas really went out there and tried their best. They put out their best foot forward out there. I can't think of a single play that I would have redone. Every play just was perfect in every meaning of it. What
I
was that last play?
They had Zeke lined up at center and that didn't do anything. And I forget, like he just threw it and it was an incompletion, right? I can't remember what the very last play was
uh,
besides that. Obviously,
You
that
know,
nothing happened, but
no, I think he got just destroyed,
yeah. I
just like
again,
Zeke.
yeah. Now they got to start asking the question, who are they going to keep? Because they signed both of them, right?
Yeah.
So, but I remember watching it, and San Francisco. I was thinking, like in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, Dallas could win this because Brock Purdy. I mean, he's been doing really good, but he's still a rookie. He was the last pick in the draft, and I don't know. I mean, San Francisco is good everywhere else. I thought their defense would show up, and they did. And I always mix up the tight ends for the Chiefs and the 49ers. It's George Kittle, right? Is
Yep.
the okay.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So he played really well. Again, I mean, Christian McCaffrey got him a touchdown, I think. It was pretty much all field goals for the first half, right? So
Yeah, it was all field goals. It was a really boring game.
for the most part. I mean, again, Dallas, I can't lie and say their defense didn't show up. But
Their
again,
defense looked good.
if you remember that video I just showed you, Dak had one touchdown and two
Two
interceptions.
picks.
Yep. So again, the team is as good as he is because obviously they got blown out by Washington the last week of the regular season, but then they blew out Tom Brady last week in the Buccaneers. So it's a very mixed team. Do you think McCarthy's going to stay next year?
Yeah, Jerry Jones is waits. He's not gonna fire Mike McCarthy.
I mean, he's gotten to the playoffs, to be fair, what, 2 out of the 3 years he's been there? So, yeah, I think
Yeah.
the problem isn't like they're always like, oh, we need Sean Payton. I forget who else they want, but Sean
I
Payton, I
kind
don't
of
think.
agreeing with other people, and I'm thinking that they might have to get a better quarterback. I think Dak's a good quarterback, and I think he could play for another team. Uh, I don't. That's kind of what's hard because I feel like it's kind of the same thing with Romo. Romo wasn't a bad quarterback either. He was a decent quarterback. I don't know if they just need to go out and get the next elite quarterback because they have really good weapons, in my opinion. Uh, it's
Do you
just it's a hard team to judge.
do you feel like
Do you think
Amari
it's
Cooper could have been the difference maker?
no? They got good receivers. They
Okay,
got good receivers. I think I honestly just think 49ers were the better team. That's all
they
it
were.
is.
They're just a better, well-rounded team. Obviously, no disrespect. Micah Parsons is really good.
Oh yeah, there's good defensive players on the Cowboys. They don't have the best defense though. They have a good defense with really great players.
Well, again, they held them to
As
field goals for the first half, I
yeah,
think it was. So,
and as someone who watched the Ravens for years, that's kind of like the Ravens. The Ravens were a great team that had a good defense with really good defensive players. So like you would have an okay defense, but your cornerbacks would be very suspect. And
hmm
then your linebackers were elite, your safety elite, and then like a above average to elite defensive tackle. Like that's kind of like the same thing for Dallas. I mean, if Dallas had probably someone in the middle, like a defensive tackle, um, maybe someone to help out Michael Parsons a little bit, I think that would make a big difference. They should make a trade in the offseason. But yeah.
well, who do they trade? Zeke? I don't think really there's a market for Zeke.
Oh, there's a market
Obviously,
for Zeke. There's
yeah.
always someone
Okay.
who'll overpay.
Okay.
I
Well,
think
I was gonna
like
say, I mean,
the
Tony
Jets.
Pollard. I
Oh
feel like
no.
they might have done better with Tony Pollard had he not gotten injured. But
Oh yeah. Pollard's a beast.
yeah, I wonder what would have happened if they would have kept what's their backup's name that played for I keep for Cooper Rush. Wonder what would have happened if they would have put him in the second half. I don't know.
They would have gotten demolished.
Okay. Okay. Again, San Francisco's
Personal opinion.
and again, the part of the reason I showed you that video is just because Cowboys fans every year we're going to the Super Bowl, we're going
Yeah.
to the Super Bowl, and I'm like, no, you're not.
It's our year.
See,
Dak photoshopped in.
there's a small part of me every year as a Ravens fan, I'm like, what if this is the year? What if it is? But then, as the season goes on, I become more informed and I make my adjustments as is
Oh
reality.
yeah.
They
You'll
don't.
see me during the beginning of the season. I'm gonna be all, you know, they can do this. We could do this. Oh, but what if we did that? And then after the season starts, I'm like, we blew out the first team we played every year. Week one. Oh no, it's week two. We're we're on national TV. Oh no. Oh no.
hmm So, and as a Washington fan, I think every year instead of as a Ravens fan, I'm like, maybe this year we could win it all. As a Washington fan, I'm just like, maybe this year we can make the playoffs. Maybe. So Or just sweeping Dallas would be cool, and Philly.
I always think of that for Washington too. I'm always like, there's a strong like I'll talk to my Washington fans. I'm like, friends, and I'm like, there's a good chance your team could just really make a push this year. They got stuff lining up for them. That defensive front, everybody's coming back, and yet Ron Rivera is your coach. And then like I watch him, I'm like, oh, shouldn't have hyped him up that much.
Yeah, I was looking forward to him. I think again, give me a second if I can remember the name. The Jack Del Rio. He's good. Obviously, I don't think Chase Young coming back this year was really that much of a difference maker because I think the defense was really tight without him. Obviously, I want him to stay because obviously he was the second pick in the draft for a reason. But I I don't know. We'll see if firing Scott Turner and replacing him with another one helps. And I'm praying to God that Dan Snyder selling the team helps. But we shall see. Which on that front too, because we gotta save this for other things too. I did see that he didn't want to sell it to Bezos because Bezos owns the Washington Post and they talk smack about him. And so apparently Bezos is debating
So
selling the
petty.
Washington Post.
It's so petty.
Yeah. Snyder, he has actually sued people for slander over just them talking about how bad of an owner he is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And I think one
Ugh.
time he sued someone, or yeah, I think he sued someone who was like essentially an old lady. I use that term broadly because she reneged on her season tickets or something. But anyhow, yeah. So every year that's the problem with Dallas fans. Every year they're like, we're going to the Super Bowl. And I get being optimistic about your team. You had a good run in the 70s and 90s, but it gets annoying every year, you
Yeah,
know?
it does. But one thing I'll mention, speaking of Super Bowls, who do we think is going to win these
Okay.
championships?
All right, you want to do AFC or NFC first?
Let me hear AFC take.
Hmm. It's tough because on the one hand, Kansas City could want revenge for last year, but on the other hand, Patrick Mahomes has a high ankle sprain. But on the other hand, apparently that's a good thing. And then the Bengals, they're a good team,
They are.
and Joe Burrow played a good game of football last week.
Yes, he did. And he played a good week of football. He played 2 good weeks of football because he played the Ravens really well too. The
I
more and
think
more I thought
actually,
about it.
I think the Ravens put up a better fight than the Bills, which is
Oh, they absolutely
depressing.
did. They
But
absolutely did.
yeah, I honestly, it's a toss up. I would not be surprised if it was Kansas City winning, but I'm gonna go with Cincinnati.
I'm with you there 150%. I think Kansas City could do it, and it would not shock me whatsoever. Um,
Okay.
I really think the Bengals can do it though. I mean, they look good. They looked good against the Bills. They looked good against the Ravens. Now, that being
Well,
said, the Bills look bad against the Dolphins. The Ravens haven't been great, but the defense for the Ravens and the Bills were better than what the Kansas City's defense is. And I
well,
think the secondaries is what's going to make the difference for the Bengals.
I agree. In the games that they lost, like how bad did they lose? Like what is their weakness? Obviously, because they've gotten better on the
Offensive
offensive
line.
line. Yeah, they've gotten better because
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah, but they're on their third string, I think,
oh
like
yeah, yeah,
tackle or
yeah.
something now.
I'm gonna look
But
up who they lost
they
to.
they've still been doing great. Jonah, can't think of his name, but they've really done a good job about taking their weaknesses and just next man up mentality. I mean, the Ravens say it all the time, but like they've
Well,
really been sticking to it. They've been doing a great job.
let's see. They lost to us, I know, like week 4. They were on like an 8 game winning streak. They lost to the Browns, which I don't know how or why that happened. They lost to the Ravens, they lost to the Cowboys by a field goal, and they lost to the Steelers in overtime first week. So first
Week
week, it's
one,
first week. It's week
and it
one.
was right after the Super Bowl that they lost. So
And they
hangover,
lost to us by 2 points. So you could just put it up to luck there.
divisional,
Mm-hmm.
and the Ravens were a good team.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
Ravens are
yeah,
great. I mean, there's a reason they went to the Super Bowl. I mean, went to the playoffs.
yeah, they are. And we'll talk more about that in another episode. But
Oh yeah,
yeah, it seems like all except for the Browns. I don't know what happened there, but oh wait, hold on a second.
divisional game.
Yeah, but they again they lost. by almost 20 points. So I don't know. But then they played them again like a couple weeks later and they beat them by like 13. So who knows? I think they have a shot. Obviously, Kansas City had the number one record for the AFC, but I'm still it's like 49 to 51%. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. But anywho, so we're going Bengals. Okay, so tell me what you think about the Birds versus the 49ers.
I'm gonna collect my thoughts for a couple seconds, and then I'm going to get you this answer.
Okay, while you're collecting your thoughts, may I?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Okay. I have to be I have to look at this as a Washington fan as well as somebody who in general does not like the people of Philadelphia. City of brotherly love is a lie. I guess with each other, but like not anyone else. And but I have to look at it objectively. They are a great team. Jalen Hurts is basically either on the same level or just slightly below Lamar Jackson in terms of athleticism.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah. They got AJ, is it Green or Brown? I always forget.
He's got a better arm though. AJ Brown.
Yeah. He's like a top wide receiver. He's been doing great. Their defense
He's
has been
shown that
showing
he's
up.
worth it.
Yep. And so with the 49ers, again, their weakest link right now is Brock Purdy with him being, and it's not against like him as a player, it's just he's still a rookie, you know? I don't think a rookie quarterback has ever won well, maybe. I mean, when did Tom Brady win the Super Bowl his first year? I can't remember because he got drafted in 2000, right? I think it was the next year they won. I can't hear you, Chris.
From DocSports.com.
No rookie quarterback has ever led the team to a Super Bowl, much less won
Much
one.
less when won.
Okay. So
I was using a tool that I didn't want everybody else's phones to go off.
oh, gotcha. Okay. So that's the weak link. So like I said, San Francisco, it really comes down to can Brock Purdy do well against the Eagles? Because right now I'm giving the slight edge to the Eagles.
I'm right there with you again, buddy. I mean, it's hard because the Eagles have such a good team. They have a great defensive line. They have very above average linebackers, and they have a better secondary than the 49ers. The 49ers secondary isn't as good. Jalen Hurts is the better quarterback. Miles Sanders versus CMC. CMC wins that every
Sure.
day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Tight ends, they're about equal.
What
Goddard and
about Debo
Kittle,
versus AJ?
about equal.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
the difference maker is going to be that secondary and Jalen Hurts. I 100% think the
We're
Philadelphia
talking
Eagles versus Kitties Go Meow is what I think.
if we're going just based purely off defense, I think they're about neck and neck with a slight edge to San Francisco. But again, I think the
Oh yeah, for that front seven, absolutely.
but the problem being the quarterback. And again, no disrespect to Brock Purdy, but again, he's only played like 4 or 5 games.
And their
And he's got
secondary, their secondary is a weakness for him.
and he's got such a good team around him. So I
Yes.
guess we kind of have to go Birds here.
But once
Okay.
again, I could see any four of these teams. All four of these teams could be the number one team in the NFL.
I agree.
Any of them. All four of them are amazing.
So if it comes down to these two, this is our realistic take. So now we'll do a fun one after this, but
Yep.
a realistic take. Oof. I as a fan, and I shouldn't say this because these are both divisional rivals of my teams, Ravens and Washington. But I feel like the Bengals, I don't see them much as an enemy. I just see them as a little brother. Like you go do
Yeah.
your thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the Bengals in that situation. And
That's a hard game.
I wouldn't say it'd be a blow. Well, yeah, it would be a really close game. It would not be a blowout.
I think it's two equal teams. I mean, Jalen Hurts versus
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. Who you picking? I'm picking Jalen Hurts because I have a style of offense that I like a little bit more.
I like that
But
style of offense too, but I think just based purely off of talent
Joe
and
Burrow's
yeah,
amazing quarterback. I'm
and plus he's got less to work with than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Like, obviously T.
Yeah.
Higgins is great, and Jamar Chase.
Well, I don't know Jamar Chase, but he's got Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Miles Sanders. Yeah, but Joe Mixon. I mean, it's a
I
pretty equal, I
I
would
would
say,
yeah.
skill position.
I would be sad if the Bengals become like the Bills in the 90s where they go to 4 straight Super Bowls and they lose each one. Like I would like as a Ravens fan, I guess I'm supposed to be happy about that, but at the same time, I just again, if it were the Browns here, yeah, go Eagles. If it were the Steelers here, go Eagles.
Yes.
But and also on the flip side too, if the Eagles won, watch all the salt from Dallas, all of it.
That would be hilarious, actually.
So it's not like I would hate the results of it, but I would really prefer the Bengals to win this one. Just
I
personally,
think
what I prefer.
Philadelphia has the better defense, though, and I think that's what might make the difference.
See, I think I'm
It's
giving
kind of
Bengals a
hard,
slighter
though.
edge though on the offense.
See, that's what makes it hard. I'm looking at this game like a 38-37 slugfest. Like they're just in it until the end. It's overtime, most likely. Overtime win to the Bengals.
Okay, we'll go with that.
I
And
like that. I like that answer. Okay.
yeah, if it goes to overtime, I would not be shocked. I think the Bengals have worked so hard and overcome so much that they deserve a win. And
I'm always biased towards the AFC. I'll be honest. I always want the AFC to win. I'm okay with any of these teams winning, though. Just being honest. I mean, all these teams kind of deserve it. They've all had amazing seasons at one point or the other. The Bengals, of course, I would like to win because they don't have one.
I
So
mean, I'll put it like this. If if the Bengals are in there and they're playing the 49ers, I am not going to be upset either way, but I think
same.
preferably I don't know. I would like San Francisco to get that 6th ring so like they can get more than Dallas and just put
And get
you know
Purdy
what I,
his ring.
well, not even so much that, but Debo, McCaffrey,
Oh yeah, CMC deserves one. He's one of my favorite running
yeah.
backs,
Kyle
but I
Kyle
think it'd be
Shanahan needs to
hilarious.
I feel like Kyle Shanahan has worked hard to get it, but
Absolutely.
I don't know. So, but again, I mean, I will say this again, like I don't so obviously the team I dislike the most out of this is the Eagles, but I think the least talented team out of all of these, see, Philly, Kansas City, and Cincinnati have like star quarterbacks, and there's Brock Purdy, but everything else on the San Francisco is just top tier. So like it's
Yeah.
really they're about evenly matched overall. So
When you break everything down, yeah. Besides defenses go to the NFC on this.
yeah, offense.
I would
Well, again, so let me. I forgot to ask this earlier. Who's Kansas City's number one receiver now that Tyreek Hill's gone?
Kelsey.
Okay.
It's still Travis Kelsey. Travis
Well, who?
Kelsey's our number one receiver.
Well, who's their number one
I
wide
would
receiver?
wide receiver. I would say it's probably Juju.
Juju.
I'll
Okay.
ask.
I don't want Juju to win either. Just FYI, because wasn't he the one who was just dancing on the field logos every single game? But you're asking your thingy again. You're good.
Yeah, I got.
Okay. I found this on the web for which wide receiver of the Kansas City Chiefs has the most yards.
Thank
Check
you.
it out.
What's it say?
In the postseason, it's still Travis Kelsey.
Regular season still Travis Kelsey?
I think so. Where
Okay.
in the world would I go to for that?
No, you're
Aha,
good.
I found it, guys.
But here, let's go ahead and do this. We're giving the slight edge to the kiddies. As a fellow,
Kelsey, Juju. Yeah, Kelsey and the Juju.
did they trade for Juju or has he been there the whole year? I know they
I think
traded
he
for
got
him at
picked
one
up.
point. Okay, so we're going
Unless they
kiddies
pick him up free
over
agency.
the birdies here. So
Yes, we are.
okay, cool. So we're gonna go
Get our
here.
nice little king crown on there.
That's an oversized crown because they deserve it. So
Yes, they do. Like those comic sized baseball caps.
right. So
I'll do a
yeah,
whole street with one on.
kind of can't even do like an opposite. Like if the Chiefs and 49ers go, then honestly, I'm rooting for the 49ers there. So
Me too. If the 49ers go, I'm rooting for the 49ers in general, just because I would love to see a
yeah.
rookie quarterback win that Super Bowl. I think that's just a good
Mhm.
storyline. I would love that. And just he's Mr. Irrelevant.
Let's just say
Made himself relevant.
if the Bengals go and they play, or if the Bengals go and they're not playing San Francisco, I'll root for them. But if the San Francisco goes and they're not playing the Bengals, I root for San Francisco. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Cool. But again, I mean, if it comes down to like Kansas City versus the Eagles, I guess go Kansas City.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
Just root
okay.
for good football.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously the last year's game, and I'll say too this. I want to mention because I forgot about this. There were a couple times where the Bengals could have won the Super Bowl last year, but they didn't have good protection. So
Yep. Could
that's
be the
something
whole difference.
they really need to work on it. And then, if it comes down to like the Bengals in San Francisco, I guess kind of a slight edge to San Francisco, or well, I don't know. That's kind of one where I just would like to live stream and just react. But anyway, yeah, if it's Kansas City versus the Eagles, I'm going Kansas City. If it's San Francisco versus the Bengals, that's a hard one.
Chiefs, Eagles, I'm going Chiefs. Chiefs,
Yep.
49ers, I'm
I'm
going
going
to want the
49ers.
49ers.
Yep.
49ers, Bengals, I'm going to want 49ers. Bengals, Eagles, I'm going to want Bengals. But I'm cool with the Eagles winning too because I don't have any stake in the NFC East. So I'm cool with them getting the win. And I like Jalen Hurts. And I
Again,
got a couple buddies
it'd
who
be
are Eagles
worse if
fans with that fan base.
yeah. I would be more upset if Dallas won a Super Bowl than Philly. Actually, I was rooting for Philly. This is before I got really into it. I was rooting for them the last when they won their first Super Bowl against New England because I just
Me too.
did not want Tom Brady to win it again at that time.
That's like the underdog story.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Nick. So, oh man, the memes that came out over
Oh
Nick
boy.
Foles, and they already got that for Brock
Oh
involving a
gosh.
word that
I know
starts with C.
exactly.
Yep. And so, can you imagine? And then watch every other team in the league put their rookie as the starter and try to win a Super Bowl.
It's gonna happen a lot.
Man. But no, I think if the Bengals can protect Joe Burrow, they're winning. And I don't know. Again, I just feel like Kansas City fans feel like they deserve everything right now, which I'm not a fan of.
Likewise, I think the Bengals are a better team.
Yep. And then again, I feel like the Eagles and San Francisco, based purely on offense, going Philly. But
And I agree.
it could
I
go
think
either
that
way.
slight edge.
These are really strong teams.
They
if
are.
it was like Seattle versus
There's no team that doesn't deserve to be here. All these
oh
teams
yeah.
deserve to be here.
Oh yeah. Like if it was like Seattle versus the Eagles, I would
Philly,
prefer
yeah.
Seattle, but Philly would win. That's an easy one to pick. But I don't know.
That's like if the Ravens were going against the Chiefs, we would all know the Chiefs are the favorites in that matchup. I don't know about against the Bengals. I think this is like they're both minus spreads, probably.
This is a rematch of last year with the Bengals. They came back from like a 20-point deficit, right? Or a 17-point. Yeah. So, But anyway, man, now we're gonna we'll see after this weekend who's going to the Super Bowl, and then
Yep.
Cool. I guess we should also talk about the Pro Bowl at one point. So, anywho, we got a few minutes left. Any other closing thoughts you want to put in there, Chris?
No, that's about it. We're gonna have some new content coming up to the channel, guys. We're gonna have some talks about some possible wish lists for our favorite teams. So make sure to stay tuned for that and hit that like button and make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get more updates on our different football and sports opinions. So far, it's just been football. We'll get into some of the other stuff later.
Oh yeah, and we are also on. We have our podcast on Spotify. This is basically just us without the video. You can listen to just audio, like say if you're driving, on Spotify, Apple Music, all those places you can listen to a podcast. But yeah, no, like Chris said, thanks for listening or watching, and yeah, hopefully, let us know in the comments who do you want to win, who do you think's going to win, and yeah, go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, ring that bell.